Welcome to What's the Title? I am one of your hosts. My name is Adam Harlow. I'm a life coach. I've been a life coach for several years now. My co-host is the lovely Jeanette. Jeanette, say hi.
Hi, Adam. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. It's a pleasure. It's always to see you. Always good to see you. Um, I'll let anybody who's listening or watching know we are diving into New Year's this week. Generally speaking, we pick it at random and kind of run with it, but we talked about it last week, and this week is a good week to talk about resolutions, the new year, and recognizing something that you want to work on. So we're going to talk a little bit about our own personal things, the pros and cons, and how we can help. And so with that in mind, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Adam. I wish you all the very, very best.
I hope this is one of the best years that you can remember.
Thank you. I have a good feeling about 2026. I really do.
I do too, actually,
Hmm.
personally. I'm really
Yeah,
excited for it.
personally.
So, do you do New Year's resolutions?
Oh, well, I have. And I've been right in before life coaching and being a counselor came into my life, and I didn't understand sort of behavior change. I was like everybody else. I'd run out and get the gym membership. I would promise myself I was going to eat better and so on, make these adjustments to my lifestyle for my own well being. And of course, they wouldn't happen or they wouldn't last. So again, I was in that same thing. And now I'm really excited to share with people today how if you incorporate certain, let's say, techniques into your resolution, it's far more likely that you'll carry through with it if you understand certain basic things about behavior change. Um, yeah, so that's where I'm at with it.
Hmm.
What about yourself? Are you a perennial January changer?
I am not so much
Ah,
struggling with ADHD the way that I do. Being consistent about anything is something that I'm very aware that I struggle with.
right.
And so having a resolution specifically about being consistent, like this year, I would like to be consistent. It never works. Inevitably, I fail,
Uh,
and that actually is one of my biggest things about New Year's resolutions. I don't like the word resolution because it is so strong. It is an inherently, there's a line drawn. It's resolute.
okay.
You either succeed or you fail. And I don't like the concept of starting a new year, setting yourself up
For
for
failure.
pass fail. The you
Uh,
can there should be a spectrum. So New Year's hopes, New Year's ideals, New Year's wishes are ways that I
mm,
put into
mm,
it. And I
mhm.
do have a couple of those. Myself and my lovely wife are going to go to the gym and we're going to help each other go to the gym. So we're lucky enough we have one kind of set up in our house. And if she goes downstairs to go work out, then I'm going to go downstairs to go work out. It helps with uh, body doubling is something that comes in HD ADHD. So if she's there, I'm more likely to be there. If I go down and she doesn't want to go down, then we could spend a half an hour apart, but then you're upstairs doing nothing. I'm like, okay, nope, I'm gonna do this. And then the second one is these are very boring as I'm saying them out loud, but we found a guy on YouTube who does diabetic friendly meal preps.
Ah,
So they're very healthy. Our Sundays now are run through, we do meal preps. So we have dinner until Tuesday night, and then she's got Wednesday off. And then Wednesday, we do meal preps. So we've got dinners until Friday. And they're healthy and they're easy, and it's kind of fun to cook together. So we've been doing that since the beginning of January, and like, go us. That one is holding firm. She went to the gym twice this week and I didn't go. So that's something that I'm going to do today while she's at work to try and catch up.
I think that's lovely, the whole meal prep thing. I love that.
If it wasn't for this guy on YouTube, which I should definitely put in the link at the bottom,
Yeah, do
but
share it with
at
everybody.
the moment, his name escapes me. Uh, but he just happened to have the way that he cooks is really simple and it's clean and there's no sugar added to it. And we've tried two or three that he's done, and they were all phenomenal. And it's fun to have one cutting board on one side and somebody cooking on the other. We pick the ingredients before we go grocery shopping, and it's become like a part. There's like a afternoon adventure that we go about, and that in and of itself also pushes us toward the gym because it's just a general health thing. Just want to be healthier. And I myself have tried on some pants. I knew I was going to gain some weight over the holidays, and I have. So I'm going to get rid of that. Hopefully by Valentine's Day is my goal.
Okay.
But so that's where I sit, and I'm not beating myself up for the fact that I missed two, uh, because so be it. My biggest one actually was to be nicer to me, and that one's really the one that I'm gonna work on the hardest.
The inside. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love how, see, you really outline there, as far as life coaches go, we try to keep people's goals in what's called SMART. So are they sustainable? Are they measurable? Time oriented. So I love that you said I give myself to February to kind of drop that extra weight. Um, you're kind of doing that. And I read something the other day that resonated with me because I'm like you too. That's one of the changes or the adjustments. Like instead of resolution, I like the word adjustment. You just kind of adjust as you go along. And I can still be pretty hard on myself without even knowing, striving all the time. And so one of my ways of doing that is to just soften everything, and this article said, make it pleasurable. So I love that you guys cooking together, you're enjoying each other, throwing on some music, maybe, who knows, laughing, joking. You're more apt to do that again than if the change that you want to make becomes a chore.
yep, yep. I wholeheartedly agree. So what was the smart again?
Um, well, they have to be sustainable, something that you can do. Like, for example, just say you and your wife couldn't afford all the groceries. It's not, if you don't mind me using that for an
No, for sure.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's not sustainable. We want them to be measurable. Like I want to lose weight is too general, but if you want to lose 15 pounds by February 14th, then there it is, measurable and also achievable,
Hmm.
and then relevant or realistic. Again, that's where a coach really helps fine tune, because I think that's where the sometimes our goals fall off, right? Were they realistic, for example? And the other thing is time bound. I have a friend who just went off sugar, and she said, I'm going to give myself 6 months. So, she loves her sweets, but I'm so proud of her because she's taken the sugar out. She's seeing the benefits, but she hasn't set this I'll go off sugar forever goal.
Yeah.
You do know, because life looks bleak. You'll never have a cookie or a piece of cake ever. But she said 6 months, and she's
Yep.
doing very well. So I'm really happy for her, and proud of her.
And I know that you are a proponent of the keto diet or paleo diet that you
Yeah, I do paleo. I've started keto, and it's actually a medical intervention that anybody can use for certain health problems. But I do paleo, so I don't eat hardly any sugar. But I allow myself a little from time to time.
which I think is actually important. It's like going to the
Yeah.
gym. You go to the gym, you can't go to the gym every day. You need a rest day. Your muscles need to relax at
Yes.
some
Yeah.
point. It is important. You have to give yourself a little bit of space. So cutting something out completely is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Today, so when I was diagnosed with epilepsy, I was
Oh,
38, and my doctor
yeah.
basically told me, okay, so you can choose. Do you want to continue to drink, or would you like to take your medication and not have seizures? And I drank heavily up until that point in my
So
life. And so
unbelievable.
I basically had to go no, but my
Hmm.
reason for doing so was it was drink or die. And I chose to not die. And it wasn't until about the 6 week mark where I was like, you know what? All right, this isn't this isn't so bad. And I think that is also a timestamp that I think is really healthy. A new year resolution and to have it set on a year. I'm not going to do this or I'm going to do this until December. Again, sets you up for pass fail. If you have a bad month
Yeah.
in April, like you did really well for 3 months, you got to give yourself credit that you did that. But then you fall off in April and now you failed. So what's the point in jumping back on because you've already let yourself down? Timestamp.
100%. Yeah, so common. And I used to be way in that zone too. And I've developed, working with others, but also myself, I call it the low bar theory. So, for example, I cannot remember what led me to it, but as you know, I've started a Tai Chi practice. I am
Hmm.
absolutely in love with it and I'm reaping the benefits. However, when the same thing when I thought, okay, when am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? So I realize now that the things I really want that are important to be done need to be done in the morning. So I do my Tai Chi, my exercise in the morning before I go do anything else. And I set my low bar of 10 minutes. And then I set the time I'll do it for 3 weeks, I think. I started early December, so I thought if nothing's showing up as a benefit, because I think too we need to see benefit. Well, by the end of the 3 weeks, as feelings, even my partner was saying, I see the difference in you. So I'm continuing with it. And some days I might get 15 minutes in. Sunday I did a beautiful 45-minute practice. And I now include it and I find it so pleasurable. And now I see that a little more clearly than, as you say, set the high bar, don't reach it, and then walk away because you've disappointed yourself.
And good for you. I'm really proud of you. That is to have a 45-minute day is phenomenal. But the most important thing that jumped out there was that
Huh.
you enjoyed it. You started
Yes.
doing it, and even though you started it kind of based out of I want to build a habit, it became pleasurable. It was something
Yes.
nice. And if ever there
Right.
was a reason for you to drive to do something, it's because you like doing it.
100%. Yeah. And this I've turned my back, if you will, on all this go hard mentality. And I used to have it. I used to be pretty driven career wise and just personally. And I played, sports hard. I'd go out. And I realized it doesn't gain you anything. It truly doesn't. And you're at risk of hurting yourself, burnout, physically, mentally, spiritually. So the best thing to do is to do it in where you enjoy it. And yes, bring yourself up into where you're challenged, but where you're still enjoying it.
We actually have a recording based around that where
Ah,
is is winning what happens when winning becomes a negative can
right.
at some point winning becomes losing because the joy is gone. If the joy is only in winning and beating other people, uh fun is more
Right.
fun when everybody's enjoying it, but that's so check that out. That'll be on our page. And yeah, I think having an enjoyable goal is, I'm gonna say, probably the number one. If you're gonna do a New Year's resolution, put at the top of the tier the thing that you know that you're going to enjoy. And then
Yes.
underneath that, have the other things, but have at least one thing on there that you know that you enjoy. I'm going to draw more. Awesome. Give yourself a time frame,
Yes.
and maybe I want to fill a sketchbook in 3 months. Cool. You can see your progress as you go.
Yes.
And not only that, but as somebody who loves doing art, anybody out there that's listening to this, open a sketchbook and fill it. There is nothing that's not true. There's a lot of stuff that's more satisfying, but filling a sketchbook is so incredibly satisfying, and being able to go back at where you started versus where you finished, you get to see your own progression. And so it's lovely. I'm going to throw that on my list that I'm going to forget in about 50 minutes anyways, but that's never going to stop me from drawing. So what are some of the cons then? Because we've talked about some pros. Oh, I was going to say New Year's comes around and you evaluate. You
Right.
look at the things that you want to change. It's a new year, it's a new start. From that perspective, in early January, how important do you think that is just in general for people's mental health?
Oh, wow. Well, I would say probably depending on the goal and where their mental health maybe is coming in. So there's, just kind of that base level. But sure, if you're struggling with something and you've tried again and again, like you say, you don't even meet your own bar, then I think that can be a little on the depressy side, a little on the downer side, right?
Hmm.
So it's finding that sweet spot where you can um, reach for a goal, bearing in mind self-compassion, that it might be hard because not, some goals are fairly easy, like you said, taking a sketchbook. I'm not saying that's super easy, but it's, say, somebody who has to lose 150 pounds or knows in their heart that they need to move on from a troubled relationship. Those are more difficult and tender. So
Yeah.
this is where coaching, I think, comes in those areas, those realms. Don't you think? Like just that emotional support when you have something a little more difficult.
I would absolutely agree with that. Even I would definitely agree with that based on the fact that as coaches, what we focus on is the hurdles that are happening
Right.
right now. It's goals that are coming in the next week. If you were to see a coach twice a month and talk to them and say, I want to do this, like this is where I would like to go to the gym. In 2 weeks, I would like to go to the gym 5 times. Like the next time I talk to you, I would like to have done this thing. And part of our job is to hold accountability. We,
Yes.
as much as a lot of coaches are simply everything is wonderful and you're awesome and nothing needs to change, part of our job is to hold accountability. We will ask, how did it go? Like you wanted to talk to your boss. Did you talk to your boss? How did that go?
Absolutely.
For, again, as a personal thing, my accountability inside of my head sucks. So if I say out loud to somebody else, this is what I'm going to do, I'm way more likely to do it. And this is one of the magical things that I've learned while I've been coaching is that if you say it out loud, it's way more likely to get better, regardless of what it is. If you hear
Absolutely.
your own voice say a thing, then you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's reality. Now it's out there. And as coaches, that's pretty much what we focus on is okay, so you want to go to the gym 5 times. We see them in 2 weeks. They went 3 times. I'm not going to be like you failed. I am going to commend you for the fact that you went 3 times and kind of probably ask why you think you didn't continue to go, or what would drive you to go a little bit
Yeah.
more in the next 2 weeks. Like, we never put anybody down. We just kind of hold up a perspective as to like what's getting in your way. Like, what
Yeah. Yeah.
were you sore? Yeah. Okay, well, maybe don't push so hard the first couple of times. And that
Hmm.
actually that swings back around to the joy, actually enjoying what you're doing. And it might not be in the joy that you're doing it in the moment. I love to draw. While I'm drawing, I'm super happy. But if you go to the gym and by the time you get home, you start to get a little bit sore, which for the record is a perfectly normal thing if you go to the gym. The pride that you feel that you went is the joy. It's that feeling that's much easier to grab onto than the I feel good because I'm sore, which is normally followed by I feel good because I'm sore because I pushed myself at the gym and I'm proud of me for pushing myself at the gym. That pride is the thing
Mm.
that you grasp onto. That's what makes you feel good, and that's the thing that's going to
Yes.
push you to go to the gym the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so correct. I love that. Well, you reinforced a couple things there, and I learned this by accident. I used to be the person who would go to the gym, and I used to have, full-time employment, and I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'd fall off. Well, it just so happened that one of my workmates said she wanted to as well. I said, well, let's go together. Well, we went for years together. So an accountability partner.
Hmm.
And one that understands the lay of the land is where a good coach is helpful because we will hold you accountable, but it, like you say, in a respectful, and that might mean um, revamping the goal. Like you said, you have a client that wants to go 5 times a week and they only went three. There's where we see that, oh, I failed. Okay, let's take a look. You went 3 times. Do you feel better? Yes. Oh, I even dropped half a pound. Winning. I don't like that phrase by Charlie Sheen, but I used it. And then, so maybe 3 times is your better goal. So we just revamp the goal.
Yeah,
We don't have
shift
to
your
throw it
perspective.
out.
Yeah,
We just fine tune it a little bit.
there can be a high bar and a low bar, but that also
Yes.
means that there's rungs in between. You
Yes.
know, you can have 5 bars, and if you set it at 5 and you feel like you failed, that's fine. But you made it to 2 or 3, you can feel good about making it to 2 or 3, and your bar can change on any given week.
Yeah.
The key is recognizing that you jumped over whatever hurdle that was, where it was, you moved forward as opposed to running up to it and being like, meh, and not stepping over the bottom, just the bottom tier.
Hmm.
And that's where we fail in New Year's resolutions is it's resolute. You're like, oh, last week I
Right.
didn't jump over the highest bar, so I'm just not gonna we'll just
Yeah.
that one's out the door. It's being nice enough to yourself to recognize that you are still moving forward in one way or another.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I think that starting off a year, this is why I don't like the term resolution, because if you start off a year, and how many of us have bought gym memberships, and by February, you haven't gone, and you feel like you lost. You feel like
Mm.
you are failing. And that is not a good way to start the year.
Hey, that what a wonderful way to put it. Yeah. Why would you start your year off with, a sense of failure? Yeah, as coaches too, I encountered this within my family too, and maybe some listeners will relate to this, but there's family stories, right? I've heard people say things like, in our family, nobody exercises, or in our family, nobody goes to school, nobody has, post-secondary, whatever. It can be many things. And so what we lack when we think like maybe I want to go back to school or maybe I want to, start exercising. You're going to kind of get some negative messaging about it. This brings in Nietzsche's crabs in a bucket, which I'll bring in another time. So when you realize you have no support for what you're going to do, and it's maybe in that realm of kind of a big goal, not just the little goal most people can do, but it's kind of a big goal, we support you
Yep.
from our bottom, our bones. We support you in what you want to do
Yeah.
and
That's
get
what,
you safely through that, even when the world around you says, no, nobody in our family does that, or you never finished high school. You can't go to post-secondary. That's too hard. It'll cost you too much money. Oh, my daughter has a good word for them, the Nagbergs. They're a negativity iceberg. So the negativity you see, there's
that's
just
funny.
so much, right? And I used to get that too, just this drip, drip, drip of, oh, you can't do that, or that's too hard, or it's too expensive, or it'll take up too much time. We don't need to know why they're saying that. It's probably their own inner voice talking, but a coach won't say that to you.
No, no. That's not our job. That's not our
No,
jam at all.
it's
I think
not
it's
our
really
jam.
interesting. Okay, so the Negbergs, the metaphor of that I adore because what you're seeing, what you hear is the stuff above water. And we all know that icebergs continue and get bigger under the water. That's what's going on in their inner dialogue. What you
Yeah,
are
yeah,
hearing is it's the top, but
yeah,
that came from the monstrosity that lives underneath. Which is
yeah,
why my big goal this year is to be nicer to myself because the reason that you tell yourself that you can't go to school, it'll take too much time, I'm probably going to fail, it'll cost too much money. These are
right.
all negative thoughts that are reinforced by you thinking them over and over and over. And instead of focusing on that massive, if you come and see a coach, what we will ask is questions like what's really getting in your way?
Yeah, yeah.
If everything was exactly the way that you wanted it to be, if there was nothing getting in your way, what would that look like? How would that make you feel?
Mm-hmm,
And I think that is a big thing. I've had so many aha moments where people have struggled to
mm-hmm.
even consider what success would look like if nothing got in your way. If everything was super smooth and hunky-dory for the entire duration of whatever adventure you were on, how would that feel and where would the end goal be? I think a lot of people get stuck on the hurdles that happen
Yeah.
along the way, the potential hurdles that happen
Mm-hmm.
along the way that haven't happened yet. And that's so much extra stress that you don't need, which is why I love what we do because we don't talk about terms in massive time gaps. It's not about 6 months from now. I've had sessions where people get overwhelmed. And that overwhelm is like that, generally speaking, that comes from a pile of what if that has never
Yeah.
happened. What
Yes.
can we do
Anxiety.
today? Like when we're
Yeah.
done here, what's one little thing that you can do that will help you feel like you've moved forward a little bit? I have a cousin who is phenomenal. He's like, if you don't want to go to the gym, that's fine. Go and put your shoes on. If you want to take your shoes off after you put your shoes on, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you probably won't because now you've got your shoes on and now you're moving forward. So break it into little steps, which again, for myself, for personally, having ADHD, I get overwhelmed so easily. It
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
infuriating. But if I can break down these steps into, okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to 1 through 10. This is how I have to get through this one thing that I need to do. After 3, I'm going to take a break. and give myself a little bit of a reward, give myself some dopamine, and come back and do three more. But if I was to jump in and say, I'm going to do this entire project, I get lost in where do I even start in
Yes.
trying to find,
Yeah.
like I said, the starting point where I
Yeah.
often start in the middle. I'm not good at linear time.
Yeah.
I want to be done and I want it to be done perfect and I want it to be done now. And that is not helpful for me because it means that a lot of stuff that I try without even doing anything, I feel like I'm failing because I jump into step four and you can't do step four until you do step one, two, and three. But I didn't take the time to think about step one, two, and three. And when I talk to you or anybody about things, if I happen to speak out loud without a filter very often, and so I can talk myself into my one, two, and three. But
Right.
talking to a coach specifically, that's what we're good at is to shrink it down to a manageable, hopefully not stress-free, but less stressful hurdle that you can jump
Absolutely.
over, that you know you can.
Yeah. No, I love that you touched on that because that's the other thing we aim to do as coaches is it's not a one size fits all. So, when somebody employs one of us, our job is to make sure that it's custom custom created, right? And that might look different for you, might look different for me. And that's where a goodly amount of the partnership goes in is to understand the person's life and their lifestyle, their goal, their personality, their even the reality of where they live, because that ties into is it measurable, attainable, and realistic. And then once we have and we can get to that pretty quickly. Coaching doesn't take forever to achieve good things. Um, maybe a couple of sessions for some people, six, seven for others, maybe longer for others. But we can quite quickly winnow it down to, okay, what's going to work for you? What are you going to feel good about? And what will you be more likely to do long term if that fits with your goal? And that's the part I love because you never know what's going to come out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, the person
yeah,
knows their own self. And sometimes all we do is pull things back a little bit and they'll go, you see the eyes widen, and the person will say, oh my God, I can do that.
yeah. The aha moment.
Right. I know they're your favorite thing in life.
Oh, I love it. Watching somebody's perspective just go, oh, and you could see the dominoes just fall. And like, this is,
Yeah.
oh, I just need to do this. Like, cool. Can you do it today? Somebody who, if you're struggling to do your taxes, what's something you can do today? I can print the paper. Cool. Don't even write anything on it.
Yeah.
How long will it take you to print it? 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What's getting in your way of doing that? I'm on the computer with you. Awesome. Like, as soon as we're done here, we'll make that happen. And I just want to throw out the a lot of the people who come to see us, and this makes me sad a little bit. A
Oh,
lot of the people that come to see us for six, seven, and more sessions, very rarely is it for the same problem, hurdle,
right.
as it
Right.
were. There will
Right.
be a bigger goal,
Yeah.
but people come to see us to, like I said, break it down into steps and make sure that those steps are manageable. So if you are going to, and I don't know if I'm gonna throw anybody under the bus here or not, but if you go to see a coach seven times and you are still stuck on the first hurdle, perhaps that coach isn't for you.
Hmm.
The seven, eight, nine times that you go to see a coach, what should happen if you want to get better at work, if you would like to get a raise or something like that,
Right.
then
Right.
it's little steps. You come to see us for step one, and then you come to see us the second or third time because you finished step one and now you need help with step two. And that's progression. If I have been talking to you for 6 months, ideally, you are very close to the goal that you set. And I will say, I'll throw myself under the bus. If you
Mm,
aren't, if you are still on step one, then perhaps I'm not the coach for you.
yeah.
The thing that's getting in your way, I've not been able to touch on. We haven't, as a partnership, because that's what it is, haven't been able to peel back those layers and find out what's truly getting in your way. Or we
Yeah.
have, but haven't been able to find the motivation to move past that. So going to see a coach, coming to talk to us, they are about measurable.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
talk
that's
to,
every session, isn't it, Adam? Like that, one
yep,
of our jobs is to hold the space so this exploration can happen around whatever has come to the coaching space. But at the end, we do a bit of a synopsis. Okay, we covered this today. Going forward, and to keep that ball rolling.
yep,
So we're kind of a cheerleader slash, we keep it in our head. We keep your values in mind. We keep your personality in mind, and we keep this rolling forward so that you can start, yeah, take the off lane from the coaching and go on your own.
yeah.
It's wonderful to see.
And we don't, and people should know this, we don't set your goals. I would
No,
never tell somebody, okay, I'm going to see you in 2 weeks, and I want you to tell me that you've been to the gym 5 times.
right.
I'm going to ask
Absolutely.
you, where are you going to set your bar that will make you feel okay, that will possibly make you want to go a little bit further? But what's something that you can do? You choose, you know your limits, you know what makes you feel good, you know what makes you feel bad. What do you think you can do and complete in order to move to the next step? Because sometimes step A or step one has an A, B, and C.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to break it down further and like, okay, so I'm not going to finish step one, but I can finish step 1A, which is printing my tax forms. I could do that.
absolutely.
That's putting your shoes on, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And another thing that I'm going to keep in mind when I'm working with people and myself too, that is, and we'll put a link for this, folks. This isn't my idea. I got it off the internet. Is to know what season you're in. So, one thing coaching, when I took the coaching course, the thing that came out that surprised me is people clarity. What do I want? Oh my God, it just becomes so clear. And that's a blessing in itself. But the other thing this writer said was to know what season you're in. Are you in one where you can grow? That you're ready to go? You got everything you need. Are you in the season of stability? So somebody who's in the middle of moving and a divorce and whatever is probably not likely to be able to tackle another big goal and transition. And this is one of my favorite spaces to work. Is I love to help people through transitions, um, of whatever kind you can name. Or are you in a period of recovery? So you're already through something and it took a whack out of you. So you're probably a little depleted. So we need to bear what season you are in mind. And the two benefits to knowing that is that it's going to prevent burnout. You're not going to push yourself to do something you're just not going. You don't have the resources in or and out to achieve,
Yep.
and unrealistic planning. So,
I
anyways, I thought
myself,
I'd share that with everybody and yourself. I'm going to keep that in mind already. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna throw that. I actually already have a bunch of those. I'm also a registered grief coach,
Yes,
which,
me too. Yeah.
right? Recovery. It
That's a
is,
transition. Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay to not have a step to move forward because grief is weird. It comes in a lot of different stages. It shows up in a lot of different ways, and that's okay. And if you need somebody to talk to or you want somebody to talk to, instead of having it roll through your head over and over and over, come and talk to us. This is what we do, and we're here to help you feel better about where you are
Yeah.
and where
Yeah.
you can go,
Yeah.
and not where you will be, where you can go.
And
And
yeah,
there's
sometimes just processing too, having somebody where you can bring those painful things that you maybe don't want to share with the rest of the family or friends. So you can come in, and that's a different coaching, isn't it, Adam? Right? Like it's probably not even very goal driven at all. It's just more uh, an expert shoulder to lean on as you make this go through this experience of grief, which I know I so honor grief, and it's so under honored in our culture.
it
Three
is.
days off. Anyways, that's a different topic for me and a passion. I'm mindful we're nearly at the end of our time. Holy.
We are. That always goes so quickly. And I just want to tell everybody that's still here, thank you for still being here, for enjoying our conversation. Jeanette and I decided to do this because we had one half an hour high get to know you session that turned into a 3.5 hour conversation. And every week, I adore the topics we dive into.
Yes.
We are definitely going to start doing some deep dives where they won't be 45 minutes. We might talk for a while because some of these topics are very large.
They
Grief
are.
isn't a 45-minute conversation, and that will come. But coming down to this wire, I think we touched on how I feel about resolutions. I think we talked about some of the pros, some of the cons, and some of the ways that you don't need to do this on your own, and that's okay. It's
Yeah.
it's totally fine if you walk up to that hurdle and you stop. It's okay to call and talk to somebody. You don't have to jump over that first one. But if you do decide that you want to continue doing that and you just need some help with it, that's where we live. We're the ones that are standing beside the hurdle, ready to help in case you struggle a little bit when you're there. And the reason that we call this show, What's the Title? Is because when we come to the end of it, I or Jeanette asks one of my favorite questions, which is, and it's my turn to ask, if the last 45 minutes, an hour was a book,
Mm.
what would the title of this book be?
Well, I'm going to be a little corny on this one. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
I like that. I can definitely see that on the shelf, and I would pick it up and I would read the back cover. For sure. And I think that's a pretty strong message. It's okay. Anybody is out there and is struggling with any of your New Year's resolutions or anything else along the way, you can contact myself at adamharlowcoaching@gmail.com.
Hmm.
I also have a website. It's adamharlowcoaching.com. I have an Instagram, Adam Harlow Coaching. You can message me at any one of those and I will respond and make sure that I have time for you because I want to talk to all of you about everything, just the way that I am. Jeanette, how do people find you?
Well, my email, that's a good, probably the better way to get a hold of me is jjzungatreelifecoach@gmail.com. I do have a website, but it's in progress, but you can certainly suss it out on the internet. And yeah, like Adam, get a hold of me, reach out. There's always a 30-minute free call so that you will, even with just that, have a clearer idea of what you're trying to achieve in your life and where you want to go. So there's kind of no risk in that other than a 30-minute phone call
It's free.
to
We all do
set
it.
that up. Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope 2026 is a very good year for us all.
Happy New Year, everybody. If you found this from a random place, you can find our podcast, What's the Title Podcast on YouTube, What's the Title Podcast on Spotify, or
Hmm.
What's the Title on Instagram. You can find us at any one of those places. Drop a DM, a like, subscribe, whatever you like. We will always answer. We'll follow up and make sure that you are as okay as you can be, and we're here to help. And on that note, Jeanette, I will wish you a happy new year again, and we will come back and talk about something brand new and exciting, and maybe do a deep dive next week. But as
Sounds
always,
good.
it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm glad we did this. I am going to go ahead and do my meal prep and go to the gym, maybe even before my beautiful wife gets home. I'm a little bit driven, and so I appreciate seeing you every week.
Thank you, Adam. Back at you. Same thing. I'm going to get up my Tai Chi and get up my things. I feel rejuvenated. So enjoyed today's conversation. Thanks for everything you do.
The last year with you has been incredible, and I think 2026 is only going to get better.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, we will see you as soon as you start binging our shows.